Hey there! I just wanted to talk about the hardest thing I've had to get over being a music artist. So I've been performing music for over 10 years. Wineries, private events, that type of thing, writing my own music and just like really developing myself as an independent artist. One of the absolute hardest things I've had to get over is how much feedback you receive from people. Both friends, family, just strangers that you meet on that day. So I'll give a few examples. When I was starting out, I was 18, and one of my first performances of one of my original songs was at my grandma's retirement home, which is what you do when you're starting out. Your family really wants to hear you play. And one of the first pieces of feedback I received was, I can't understand what you're saying. What is she saying? She needs to enunciate more. And that really ticked me off because I was really fragile. I was just like beginning and I didn't want to hear any negative feedback about myself. After being upset, I was like, I really do need to like make sure people can understand my lyrics so that they can connect with me and connect with the song. And I also realized that part of the reason why I was kind of blurring my words together and not enunciating is because I was afraid of people hearing my lyrics and being like, oh, what did you mean by that? You experienced this or that. What does that mean? Like, I didn't really want people to like know what I was saying. So another example of receiving feedback is I was playing music at a winery and this guy came up to me and he was like, you need a better sounding name, like my literal name. And this is before I changed my name to Megan Stonson after I got married. My name is Megan Steinke, and it's hard to pronounce. People don't pronounce it correctly. That was a crazy piece of feedback that I received just from a complete stranger. He was like, you need your name to be more like smooth, like Nora Jones, Megan Stone or something, which is funny because my name now is Megan Stonson. But that was a really crazy thing to hear because I was, again, like in those early stages and I was like, that's my literal name, this piece of my identity. At the beginning, you're still so attached. You can't separate like who you are in your music. And then the last kind of story I'll give is one time I was performing at a brewery and sometimes I can kind of get lost in my head. So while I was performing, somebody told me that I looked like I was stoned while I was performing, which is funny. I was like, oh, I guess I'm like giving nothing. Yeah, that performing my songs honestly doesn't come super naturally, like really getting into the emotions. Because once I write a song, I'm emotional about it as I'm writing it. But then if you perform it so many times, you kind of like lose touch with that. Some people are really natural at that, but I just think that like the feedback is always so awkward to hear. It's really awkward to take in, but now I'm at the point where it's a little bit more rare that I'll receive a piece of feedback just because I've done so much work and I've been doing this for so long. So all that to say, I'm really grateful for the people that took the time and had the courage to like actually come up to me and say something negative about me or my music. It's not even negative, it's like constructive, because all of that means that they saw potential in me. I think it always has been men, which is funny because like obviously I'm a woman and they feel like, confident enough to come up to me and say something that's criticism about me. But I'm really grateful for all the feedback I've gotten throughout the years, especially in the beginning, because like it means that people saw potential in me and it means that I have room to grow. So now I mainly receive feedback when I ask for it. I don't receive a lot of feedback in person anymore since I've done so much work. But I'm still open to it, still have to take it with a grain of salt. And then of course, like when you start posting videos on the internet, like sometimes you get really negative comments, especially when you're like opinionated about something or you're just like who you are. There will always be people on the internet that give you criticism. Even if they think it's constructive, you still have to take it and say like, is this for me? Is this not for me? So I just wanted to give you guys like an insight into what it's been like, because I feel like people think that only huge, ginormous artists have to deal with stuff like this, but it's actually like probably more in the beginning stages for people that like, I don't know, people really want you to succeed, and they also see your flaws because you're in that like awkward growth stage. So now like the only person probably that I receive feedback from is my wife, which she has a master's certificate in music business. Not to brag, but also to brag because I think it's worthy of that. So before I release any music, I literally will push it past, like I'll bring it to her and be like, what do you truly honestly think of this? Because the greatest takeaway that I've had is that honesty is just going to make my music so much better. Like me adapting to that honest feedback. Like I can't put something out there without feeling like I have the support of at least somebody else being like, okay, this is actually good. So anyways, thank you for listening. I just think that I don't know, that you might want an inside look into how it's been and what it's really like being an artist out there, because it's kind of crazy, and I realized it's like somewhat of a unique experience. So yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and appreciate, you know, all the people that are willing to give artists constructive criticism, because we need it. You know, we need to know that people see potential in us, and also that goes along with like positive feedback too. Really, really appreciate it. So yeah, have a good one.